Hey y'all, I'm back to let you know about some of the other things I'm watching outside of Netflix. So the TV just keeps going, y'all, and we're gonna take it to prom. Let's go to prom first, and let's start off with none other than my show, The Boys. The Boys. And before we get into it, like I always forget, make sure you like, subscribe, share, do all the things of the channel. Make sure you also comment. I want to know what you're watching and any reaction to the shows I talk about that I'm watching right now. But like I said, let's start on prom with The Boys. Now, The Boys, this has been one of my favorite shows since it first came out. And season 4 is out right now. They come out Thursdays or Fridays. I don't know. I check it today. I usually watch on Friday. But I don't know if they come out on Thursday or if they come out on Friday, but Friday is usually whenever I do watch. But the storyline goes the world's most powerful superheroes, soups, they're known as, are secretly bending society to his whims until the underdog team, known as the boys, the victims of the soups, conjure up a plan to take down the Seven and Vault International once and for all. Fighting a never ending conspiracy of corporate espionage, deep cutting secrets, and nigh godly figures. The boys would do whatever it takes to save the world from its corrupt superheroes before they become unstoppable or die trying. I love every season of this show. This show is not for the faint of heart. It does get quite grotesque. It does push the lines and the boundaries. There are things, there are things they show. There are things that are being done where you're wondering, like, where is the mind of these creators? What is going on? How did you even think about this? From the season when the little hero goes up into the head of the man's penis and explodes him from inside to yes, I don't even want to say what happens with one of the people and stuff this season. What you catch him doing, but it is quite on the borderline of like you better be careful who's in the room whenever you're watching this. Like I said, it's not for the little kiddies and stuff to be around. And the way the story is formulated is such a critique on fascism and our current political state here in the States and throughout the world, probably, where I know there's a lot of right wing push. There's a lot, it's really moved in. The whole thing is kind of been framed on this, and it pokes fun at everyone, but I feel like the right gets a little bit more fun poked at them in this. And I believe some people were getting upset this season when they finally caught on and noticed it. And like even the new character Firecracker I was reading was based off of Marjorie Taylor Greene and all these things. But is such a fascinating show and the way that it's done. And it's just a ride. It's just a ride. I just have not seen superheroes ever done like this in a show or a show kind of created this way. I'm not familiar with the comics and everything, but I was reading that one thing that they did change with this show, because Homelander is the leader of the right, if you want to say, of the soups and everything, and he is the most powerful that's going on, and he goes on such a journey in this. But I was reading that I believe in the comics or whatever that's written for it, that you find out that Homelander is like a clone and actually Black Noir was behind everything, but they kind of revamped that for the show where that's not the case. And if that's the case and it's not going to go to that, I'm really glad they chose this direction for the show because it definitely made sense to me how they're going. But yes, Homelander, you got to love to hate him on there. The Butcher, oh gosh, the Butcher is just going through his character. It just go through so many ups and downs. I feel like there's so much character evolution with everyone in this that you can really just spend time dissecting and talking about everybody in here. So even if you're not a superhero fan, I think you would get over that, but it's a mix of action, it's a mix of comedy, it's some drama, it's sci-fi, it's crime. It kind of has it all in here. But The Boys keeps me entertained, and the story just keeps evolving and going. I know we got to get to an end here. I don't think I don't know if this would be the last season. I don't know if it can go beyond another season after this, if there's another one, but I'm not sure. But maybe they'll surprise me and keep it going. Who knows? But The Boys, definitely add it to your list if you haven't already. Another thing I watched on Prime recently, that I finished, a movie, if you want to watch The Beekeeper. I thought that was actually entertaining. It stars Jason Statham. He's getting old. Yes, he is, but he still has it in the action category. Like he still has it for me. He plays Adam Clay in the movie. And the storyline for this is Adam Clay is a beekeeper. And a beekeeper, he's a beekeeper literally, but it also is like this program that the CIA was involved with or whatever, where they take care of things whenever other people can't. But he is a beekeeper, but someone very important to him is scammed and driven to harm. And that character is played by Felicia Rashad. However, what these power and money hungry scammers don't know is that Clay is an agent in a classified program called Beekeepers. And they underestimate how much of a threat he is. Adam sets out on a quest of vengeance where he finds, hunts, and kills those responsible for the incident. Now, there isn't anything groundbreaking. It is very predictable as a movie, but I don't mind that. You know, if it's going to be a good action film, give me whatever I expect, as long as it's good. Some of the acting is not great. Like the daughter of Felicia Rashad, she's not that great. I'm sorry if for some reason you run into this video, whatever your name is. But and then some other ones, they're not super great actors and actresses, but who cares? The story is good enough. The action is good. It kept me entertained. I was here for it. So, it's about a 6 out of 10, 6.5. I give it that, something like that. Maybe even push it to a 7 if I being generous. But definitely check that out. It's worth some entertainment for an evening. Also on Prime, RuPaul's Drag Race All Stars. This All Stars cast, I was not so super excited about at the announcement, but they are proven to be a good watch. And they just did the Rusical last week, and it's got to be one of the best musicals I ever seen on RuPaul's Drag Race. Let me tell you, if they do a Megan part 2, y'all better look at Georgia's to play Megan. You could get a real light person to play Megan because she ate down and looking like Megan and moving like Megan in that. The Rusical it was called Rosemary's Baby or something like that. But it was a mix of comedy and horror and all this. And so there were classic horror characters. You had Rotsy, who really became the it clown, looking like Nina West and all these other people. She was that. Nina West was like the poltergeist woman, but was like in a Pentecostal element. It was just such a good watch. And what's her face? I'm forgetting her name right now. Asian Queen. What is her name? That played Rosemary in the thing, but she's been surprising me this whole entire time going on in the show, because before I didn't see it for her, but for right now, she is definitely bringing it, and my mind is like drawing a blank for some reason on her at this moment, and I don't know why it is, but she did great in the musical. Got Mick was great. Uh, Angeria is always great. She did her thing in a musical, so yes, this definitely is a good watch. If you aren't watching this season, I do highly recommend that you watch this season because the girls are bringing it. The runways have been up and down. There have been some stellar ones. hold on one second. I'm a pull up her name right now because it's killed Plastique. Lord knows. I'm about to go bury my face in the sand somewhere. Plastic. Yeah, she's killing it this season. But Plastic, how do you have like the most wins, tied for the most wins, but you have not won any money for your charity yet? Girl, learn to lip sync. This Friday's gonna be a lip sync battle episode. So that's gonna be interesting too as well. I'm here for the girls this season. They all have been a good watch. The Rusical was on point. It's been a good run. It's been a good run for the All Stars this season, I must say. Drag Race, to continue on that theme, let's move over to WoW. So we're leaving prom and we're going to WoW. I'm watching Drag Race France. I enjoy Drag Race France season 2 so much. So I said, let me go ahead and start watching the girls from the current French season. Mexico is also out, I believe. There might be something else out, but it takes me time to kind of go through the other franchises and watch them. And so I did start France. I've watched 3 episodes. I think I just finished the ball episode, if I'm not mistaken. Or it might have been the one after that. I forget. But the girls this season, they aren't captivating like season 2 was. Season 2 was really captivating. But I do like that they are keeping things kind of fresh on France. France is a good watch. Like it's just a good, solid drag race franchise. And they did this one thing on the last runway that they did for their ball, or the episode that I watched. It's not the most recent. I'm a little behind. But they did a thing where the phone rang on the stage and she was like, "Oh, the challenge is not over. Like you have an hour to go back and make a hat like for your piece to complete your outfit." So it's like little things like that they're doing that keeps it fresh. And and it's girls are really doing the real thing, making their drag. It's not about how much money you're bringing into the season and stuff on your clothes, because that's kind of where the US has gone. It's become with so much money where it's not as much of as making your stuff as it used to be. So I'm here for more and more design challenges, and just the girls being able to showcase their skills in that way, where it's not about how much money you have in your pocket and what you bring into the show, but what can you create for what we have here. Excuse me. But it is good. It's not bad. It's just that season 2 was so captivating, especially with Kiana. So that's just the only reason there. So I haven't really made an attachment to any of the queens yet. So we'll see if I keep watching. That assessment may change. Now on WoW, what you need to stop, if you have not watched right now, I don't care if you don't have WoW, you need to go and download it. You need to borrow somebody's account. You need to do whatever, but you need to be watching House on Fire, baby. Since Legendary has left us, we now have House on Fire. And this is giving me everything that I need. Storyline goes, category is family realness. Follow the chosen family of the legendary house of Miyake Mugler as they juggle their impressive careers, steamy relationships, and heated rivalries, all while slaying the fierce world of New York City ballroom. Baby, this show is just brilliantly done. Like it gives you a look into ballroom culture. It pulls you into the people. And so you're able to build a relationship with them and you're interested in what's going on in their lives. And it just all works. You have Leanna Bloom, who was a trans model, and she's fierce now. She's definitely, you saw them back in the day pictures. She's fierce. Like, there's a lot going on now. There's some talks about circles. Some people don't think she's that cute or whatever. But Lena, you got to respect the hustle that she has. But she's trying to get back into the house because she left the house under like some bad terms. You have AJ. You have Exotic. AJ is also trying to get into the house, I would say, and he is messy. AJ is messy. And you see him, he's like, "Oh, this is a pretty man." And then as the show goes on, you're like, "Oh, no, AJ, I would not be fucking with you." You have Exotic Mugler. Now, there are some people man or woman, who are just like some of the most beautiful people you ever seen. It's just like they're just pretty. That's exotic. Exotic is just pretty. He's just a pretty, like you just see him, and I don't care if you are gay, straight, bi, in between, asexual. The man is just pretty. He's just a pretty man. Like you can see why he has dominated face categories and all these other categories and stuff dealing with that. Like he's just that, but he is the mother of the house. And then you have Roz, also who is there, who is definitely a hoot too. Oh, Roz, who serves as oh gosh, Roz. I was trying to think of Roz main thing. I forget. It doesn't slip my mind. We'll come at the Roz. But you have Chanel, that's my brother's girl, trans girl, and oh yeah, Roz. It just I'm getting old, y'all. These brain freezes. Roz is an elder of of Mugler, and he comes back and stuff for the summer. And so he's kind of there. He's kind of like that uncle, that crazy uncle with the kids and stuff going on. And he's coming back and trying to get back into walking some ballroom categories because he hasn't done it, but he's dominated for such a long time. But he's an elder of the house. But Roz comes and gives the girl the business too, and they don't know how to take them. The film queens don't know what to do with the butch queens, and that's so interesting. Yeah, Chanel, who's a trans girl in the house, and Chanel is hilarious. She wants to be a comedian. She's also trying to get into music and all these things, but Chanel is the lifeblood of this show. She keeps it moving with the entertainment. It's my brother's favorite character, or she's his favorite in the house. You have Yusuf, who is the father of the house, who lays down the. Yusuf is he got style, he got the fashions. He just lays down the law. He's the father of the house. Yeah, Brooklyn, who people are familiar with Brooklyn and how well she did on Legendary and just how she dominates the Vogan scene. But now she also is like doing drag categories and she's doing other stuff, and she's become such a young legend already so fast. But Brooklyn girl, like Brooklyn is a lot. She is definitely the baby of the family, and she kind of thinks she can do whatever she wants, and it don't really work that way, and she gets herself in a whole lot of trouble in a whole lot of different ways. But Brooklyn, she is that girl though. Brooklyn is interesting, and we're going through her trans journey as she's just coming out of stuff as trans on the show. Yeah, Lolita, who is a cis woman and a straight female. I believe she is straight, for if I remember, but yeah, she's definitely a cis woman, and she just became legendary status of Mugler, and she's now getting into her music. And in the last episode, I didn't watch the most current one. I had to watch that one this week. They come out on Tuesdays, but the one before the one this week, she was showcasing some of her music, and I was like, okay, I need this in my life right now. I could see this, me walking down the street on this, bobbing this in my head all the time, me getting down in a club in this. Yeah, like it was nice. And Lolita, she's that girl. And then you have Tati, who was in one of the original shows, if you used to watch that some years ago, but she's been in the house for a minute with Mugler. And now she's kind of coming back too and wanting to walk new categories. And she's a trans girl too, as well. And she's kind of struggling, going through that struggle of really having that confidence and stuff. But the cast is just great. It's just such a great show. It's fun, entertaining. I'm enjoying it. So definitely watch House of Fire. House on Fire is one of my most favorite shows on right now. All right, we're gonna leave WoW and we're gonna move to Stars Network. Now I know some of y'all got a lot to say about the Power series. So I'm watching Ghosts, the final season. I can't believe this is the final season. Season 3 of Ghosts. And if you have not been watching Ghosts, so it follows Tariq St. Patrick as he's forced to grapple with this new world order. His father is dead. We know, Ghosts, because you killed him. and he pulled the trigger. As Tyreek tries to balance his drug operation with his grades, he's in college, love life, and family, he figures out the only way to avoid the same fate his father met is to become him, only better. And so this show, a lot of people have gotten killed in the show up to this point who were critical in it, but we still have Mary, who plays Monet. Mary is a complete one note character, girl. I need you, whatever she's going through, whatever she's being emotional, when she's upset, when she's happy, she has the same look on her face. And it's the same thing. She's giving me very much one note through this whole thing, Mary. You have Method Man, who is a great actor to me. Like well, I won't say great, he's good. He's a really good actor, I feel like. Coming from being a rapper and these things. But he plays Davis in the show, and he's still an integral part in the show. And this season, Michael Ealy is in the show, who's playing like this detective who's trying to really bring everything down, which we're trying to figure out still some of the layers he has in the connection, his real motivation. There's this mystery behind his wife, who died, and what happened there, and how this plays a role. But anyway, I will say season 3 of Ghost, and this being the final season, you can tell like they kind of went back in to kind of redo some stuff, or to take a direction to try to wrap everything up. It just feels like really rush, and the way things are happening, where to me it's not, this season isn't as good as the first two, in my personal opinion. Tyreek is kind of getting it back to being a little bit annoying with me, and the way that he's moving. And I understand he's trying to become Ghost, and he's realizing that what he needs to be in terms of being Ghost. And not season 3, season 4. I'm sorry. This is season 4 of the show, the final season. And I don't know. This journey of something, they brought in this Noma character from the UK who's now in New York, and she's trying to run this stuff. I don't know if the Noma character really works. The storyline is just kind of going all over the place. Y'all should have just never rushed this. So Raising Kanan is definitely my favorite offspring show of Power. And I might move Force into that second role now. And Ghost has kind of become the third one. It's just kind of falling off. So, but y'all are ending, sadly. I think it could have stayed better if they had a longer run. I feel like this could have been developed a little bit more than the way that it's moving now. So I feel like it's going to be some really rush ending. We'll see if it makes sense. I'm also watching The Serpent Queen on Stars. So I've been binge watch the first season because the new season is about to start Friday. And I was wondering, like, what is The Serpent Queen? Because I was seeing it all the time. So the series is based on a book. Yeah, I want to say, I was trying to find the name of the book. Yeah, Catherine de Medici, Renaissance Queen of France. And it's fun. It's just such a fun show, The Serpent Queen. So it's like this unlikely girl who was born into wealth, but then her family, like when she's a baby, her family is killed and all these things happen. And she ends up, and she goes with her grandmother, then her grandmother dies. So she ends up having to be thrown to an orphanage pretty much. But her family line, like people were out to kill them. And so people are going to try to kill her. But the Pope finds her before that happens, whenever she comes of age, who that's still in her family bloodline. I believe he's her uncle, if I'm not mistaken, the Pope. But he ends up arranging this marriage with her to the second son I believe it was the King of England. And she goes out there and she's not a natural beauty by any means. And so she has to really find a way to craft her way. And it's about her journey of becoming queen. And she's an Italian, this Italian woman who ends up becoming queen there in England. And it's quite fascinating and interesting the journey that she goes through. And she's telling this story to this young black girl who's kind of like her, was a castaway. And she's using this girl, but while also raising up this girl at the same time. And this girl has her kind of own ulterior motives too, where she's crafty, kind of like the Serpent Queen was. And so there's a lot that goes into it, especially with her cousin who is living there too in England, who was in love with the king, who she ends up marrying. And which is kind of nasty too, because she's old, like a lot older. But anyway, but she still kind of interferes in so many ways throughout this. It's a lot. I don't want to give away all the details. Excuse me, but it is quite interesting, and it ends like in an interesting way that has me excited for season 2 to see how all this is about to go down now that she is queen and she is the Serpent Queen. She is conniving. She finds a way to get through. She finds a way out of no way, honey. Whenever, there's a will, there's a way. She will make a way out of no way, like the song goes. And that's definitely her. The last thing I'm watching, we'll go over to Matt's, is House of the Dragon, which I know all of you are watching. There's a lot of debate about House of the Dragon. I know a lot of people can't get into it. A lot of people can't get into the story part element. It's not like a bunch of action. But if you think about Game of Thrones, it wasn't like it was a bunch of action. Like the story was good. And I feel like the story has really grown with House of the Dragon. And so I'm just there for the drama. And I'm there for the dialogue and what's happening. So you look at it, it could be looked at as a drama fantasy. There's some romance, and then there's a little action and a little adventure that happens. The more action is picking up now that we're getting into the dragon battles and stuff that's happening. But it's about the Targaryen dynasty um, being the absolute apex of power with more than 10 dragons under their yoke. Most empires crumble from such heights. In the case of the Targaryens, their slow fall begins when King Viserys breaks with a century of tradition by naming his daughter Rhaenyra heir to the Iron Throne. But when Viserys later fathers a son, the court is shocked when Rhaenyra retains her status as his heir, and seeds of division sow friction across the realm. I just got to say, if you are House of Green, Team Green, we can't be friends. You are not trustworthy, because I don't know how you could be with House of Green and not House of Black. This is Rhaenyra's crown. Allison done fucked the thing up. You messed up, sis. You messed up big time, and you're trying to cover your tracks. There's just so much to this show. The dialogue, the journey, the just plot and storyline, and you can see how the Targaryens start to go. Because if you're familiar with the Game of Thrones, you know that the Mad King was like the last one, and you know that they had they killed about everyone except for our favorites on the Game of Thrones. Which I'm having all these brain freezes right now. I don't know why, but with Daenerys Targaryen, don't know what's going on. I need to go ahead and get me some lunch. I think that's what's happening. But Daenerys Targaryen is there, and who should have been queen at the end, Mr. Jon Snow. Gosh, I can't. Jon Snow, if you go back and watch Game of Thrones, Jon Snow has got to be. I was talking with my man Quentin about this. We were chatting about it in our chat or a message on Instagram, because he's rewatching Game of Thrones right now. And he's just like, you know, Jon Snow is the worst. And I'm like, yes. When I rewatched, I realized how much I despise Jon Snow. Anyway, but House of the Dragon, definitely get into it because right now, baby, I'm still sad over the last episode and who goes down. Still sadness over here. But the show is really picking up, and I don't know where we go from here. It's just about to be on. It's really about to be on this show. It's about to be so much going down, and I can't wait. The worst part is that it only comes out once a week. You got to keep waiting for Sunday to see what happens. But get into it. Hopefully, some of those recommendations work for you, and you start watching. All right. See you again next time on the couch.